The following is a presentation of the IHSA television network.
The Warhawks of North Chicago survived wave after wave from the Lions of Lamphere to make the first state championship game in school history, where they'll meet the hometown kids of Central and Peoria High, winners today over Hillcrest in Class 3A. That's the 3A set. Class 4A semifinal action coming up next. Who will play Saturday night? We'll find out next on America's Original March Madness. It's the first downstate trip in 19 years. Maywood is back, and this time Donnie Boyce is on the bench, hoping his Pirates can stop the best point guard in the state in Fred Van Vliet. Our Class 4A semifinals coming up next. Hi everyone, Matt Rodewald with you here at Carver Arena. So glad you're with us for what we think are going to be two dynamite semifinal games here in Class 4A. The first one coming up being Proviso, the unbeaten Pirates at 31-0, taking on the surprising, yes, 31-2 surprising Auburn Knights of Rockford. The other game coming up tonight is Simeon, the Wolverines, trying to make their 6th state championship appearance in 7 years. They'll be taking on the unheralded Bloom Township Blazing Trojans at 28-3. Hard to be unheralded at 28-3, but they'll be representing the Southland tonight. Representing the Southland earlier this afternoon, Hillcrest, who fell to Peoria Central. And then the first game we saw today, a dynamite game with North Chicago taking on Springfield Lamphere and getting the win in that first semifinal game. We got another semifinal pair coming up next. The stars continue to align as we get closer to the matchup. The Three Amigos, the French Connection, and Fred's one-man band next.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Boom. Aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, on the links or on the track, on the diamond or on the ice. Go to prepfilms.com. It's easy. You can order your DVD online. At prepfilms.com, you make the memories. We'll make them last forever.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Boom. Aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
IHSA Network Basketball is presented by Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? Visit countryfinancial.com and we'll help you achieve financial security no matter where you're starting from.
It's been 6 years since we've had an unbeaten state champ in Illinois, and it's been more than 50 years since we've had a state champ come out of the city of Rockford. It's Proviso East and Rockford Auburn, and for the call, we send it over to Dave Bernhardt and Jerry Hester. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much, Matt. And you just gave the credentials of the two teams we're going to see next. How about this entire Final Four? Combined record of 121 wins and just 6 losses. With former Fighting Illini star and Peoria Manual Ram star Jerry Hester, I'm Dave Bernhardt. Glad you could join us for this one. But I have to warn you, if you like pressure, Well, let's turn it on to the basketball floor. If you like pressure on the basketball floor, you are going to love tonight's first game, Jerry.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Dave. Pressure, pressure, pressure is the name of this game. Both teams like the pressure and take that pressure and turn it into opportunities on the offensive end in transition.
Great teams need great point guards. What a matchup we have here tonight. Two first-team All-Staters. First of all, for Auburn, Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet does everything for this Rockford Auburn team. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He does everything but pop popcorn when he's in the arena.
Now, I don't know whether Keith Carter had those popcorn credentials, but he's a great one in his own right.
Yes, he also scores at a high rate, averaging more than 20 points a game. But his biggest thing is that he's a leader, and he does a great job. He's the floor general with this Proviso East Pirate team.
These two teams, just 2 losses between them, one of them in the regular season. Auburn lost to Proviso East. Here's how these two teams got here. Auburn avenged an earlier loss to Rockton-Hononegah, one of their 2 losses, 56-40. Then in that super sectional against Warren, out-rebounded a much taller team in Warren. Auburn trailed by 6 in the second half, actually in the fourth quarter midway through. And for Proviso East, they got here by way in the sectional final, absolutely demolishing Schaumburg on the Saxons' home floor, 78-39, and what head coach Donnie Boyce said was his team's best game of the year, then followed that up with an 11-point win over Aurora West. So that's our matchup here tonight. Auburn, Proviso East. Let's get things started with our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association, the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for America's original March Madness. This Class 4A semifinal game for 2012 features the Pirates of Proviso East, a record of 31-0, and the Auburn Knights of Rockford, a record of 31-2. At this time, we ask you to please stand and to honor America. Please remove your caps and pause for a moment of silence to remember the men and women in the armed forces serving us here and around the world, away from their families, protecting our freedom. Thank you as we thank them. Now, please address the flag with your hand over your heart as Joshua Blue, a senior at Waubonsee Valley High School, leads us in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
No, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, nor the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. No, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, nor the land of the brave and the home of the brave.
And now let's meet the teams for this 4A semifinal game. For Maywood, Proviso East, a 6'5" senior, number 5, Trayshawn Carroll. 6' senior, number 11, Deshaun McCarthy. 6' sophomore, 23, Javon Carter. 6' senior, 24, Michael Nicholas. 6'1" junior, 25, Shaquille Mullen. 6'3" junior, 32, Brandon Jenkins. 6'3" senior, Jabari Alex. 6'6" junior, 45, Rashad Williams. 6'2 senior, 52, Rick Elders. And a 6'3 senior, 55, Kenny Rhodes. And now the Knights of Rockford, Auburn. A 5'6 sophomore, number 2, Philip Trammell. 5'5 junior, number 3, Jaquarius Edwards. 6'1 junior, number 10, Corey Jefferson. 6'3 junior, 21, Kyle Redmond. 6'2 sophomore, 33, Malik Minor. 6'2 senior, 34, Jalen Marshall. And a 6'3 junior, 55, Contrell Curry. And now the starting lineups for this 4A semifinal game. For Proviso East, at a forward, a 6'4 junior, 21, Sterling Brown. At a forward for Rockford Auburn, a 6' junior, number 1, Trammell Rideout. At center for the Pirates, a 6'7 senior, 15, Isaiah Grace. At a guard for the Knights, a 5'9 senior, number 5, Elijah Smith. At a guard for Proviso East, a 6'1 senior, 0, Keith Carter. Another guard for Auburn, a 6' senior, 22, Lamarck Foote. At a guard for the Pirates, a 5'11 junior, number 1, Paris Lee. At a guard for the Knights, a 6' senior, 23, Fred Van Vliet. And a guard for Proviso East, a 5'10 senior, number 4, Paris Burns. At a guard for Rockford Auburn, a 6' senior, 35, Javante Hicks. Head coaching his first season at Maywood Proviso East is Donnie Boyce, a record of 31-0. Assistant coaches are Cedric McCullough, Sherelle Ford, Everett Stubblefield, Scotty Ware, Tom Jeske, and Eric Baugh. Head coach for the Auburn Knights, 13 years there, a record of 203 and 169 is Brian Ott. Assistant coaches Matt Powers, James Fisher, Joe Danforth, Jose Harris, and Nick Newsom.
Our officials for tonight's first Class 4A semifinal game, Gary Burr, Raymond Wesley, and Kevin Paulo. It's the 31-0 Proviso East Pirates, the 31-2 Auburn Knights, and it's coming your way next.
Just a reminder that kids who participate in high school sports tend to go a little farther than those who don't.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Our ball tonight presented by Shane Parker, Pitt Printing and Marking Services, the managing partner. And he gets the honors here prior to Proviso East and the Auburn Knights. For Rockford Auburn, we get a look at Donnie Boyce. How about that for a career record? 31-0 in his first season with the Pirates and for Auburn. Brian Ott in his 13th season, 203 wins, 169 losses. Ott came in, suffered through 7 losing seasons before getting it all together, and now 31-2 this year. And Jerry, we listen into the starting lineups for Rockford Auburn, and no, There was no mistake made. 5'9", 6 foot, 6 foot, 6 foot, 6 foot.
Yes.
That's what Auburn's going to run out there.
Yeah, this is a very small team when you look at it height-wise, but when you look at their heart, they're very big. They play a lot bigger than their size.
They knocked off a much bigger Warren team, a team whose smallest starter, shortest starter, was 6 feet 4 inches tall. Isaiah Grace in the starting lineup tonight for Proviso East. He's taking the spot of Trayshawn Carroll. Carroll was ejected in the super sectional win over West Aurora, so he must sit out this entire game. So they will be without Carroll, 6'5" senior inside. Part of the French connection. Paris Burns rattles it in and out. Heard Matt Rodewald talk about them. Paris Lee, the other, as Auburn will turn it over.
You can see early on this Auburn team. We talked to Coach out earlier this week. He said we are what we are, and even though this Proviso East team likes to get up and down, Auburn will try to run with them.
We'll get right in your face for 32 minutes. Sterling Brown with it. The brother of former great Shannon Brown.
Sterling Brown creating a name for himself, having a terrific junior season.
Averaging 12.7 points, 9.3 rebounds. Pass picked up. Van Vliet looks ahead. Stepping in the lane right there was Keith Carter. Now, these two teams played earlier this season on December 29th. That was in the semifinals, the Proviso West tournament. It was a 75-56 win for Proviso East. However, in that ballgame, the first half, 7 ties and 8 lead changes. One of the problems that Auburn had in that ballgame, Van Vliet, who comes in averaging over 20 points per game, was limited to 10 points and turned the ball over 5 times.
Yeah, and that's one thing Proviso East wants to do is keep the ball out of his hands, but that'll be hard to do, especially this being the Final Four, being his last opportunity to get a championship. He's going to lay it all on the line tonight.
One of the adjustments that Auburn made after that game is when Van Vliet was double-teamed and the trap would come, a lot of his teammates would stand around. Brian Ott says, we had to learn how when your man left you, you have to react.
You can see both teams with a little bit of jitters, the way the ball is moving around.
90 seconds in and no score. And it will be the Knights with him. And now the Pirates. That will be a double dribble on Burns. Well, you can really feel it this close, can't you, Jerry, how tight everybody is here. Man.
Being down here and for these players, the first time playing in the Final Four, you can definitely tell there's some nerves out there, but eventually both teams will settle down.
Well, you've lived it in the Final Four here in the state tournament. What are the first few minutes like?
Well, they're very tense, like you talked about, but at the same time, you're trying to play so hard and do the right thing for your team and for your school that you have a lot of jitters.
No, right out will go to the free throw line, looking for our first points tonight.
And Isaiah Grace going up high, trying to get the block, but a little bit too much contact.
We are still stuck on 0, almost 2 minutes in. Johnny Boyce has assembled an all-star cast of his assistant coaches.
I know him all too well, Dave. All too well.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Underneath, on the foul, Lamarck Foote. Sterling Brown with the rebound. There's Foote. 1,000-point score for the Knights. Probably would get a lot more attention if it weren't for the All-Stater, Fred Van Vliet.
You're exactly right. He's a very good basketball player. And him and Van Vliet have played a long time together and know each other will be on the court.
We played a little over 2 minutes. We have no score, but there have been 7 turnovers already.
Dave, we promised action. We didn't say what the score would be. We said it would be action though.
Brown powers his way into the paint.
Sterling Brown using his size. It's the one thing Auburn doesn't have. If Sterling Brown can get into the lane consistently, he could have a big game tonight.
Grace gets his hand in the ball. Carter with it. Ahead to Burns. Grace very active here early, getting the start in place of Trayshawn Carroll. This is what the Pirates of Proviso East want to do to you. Make a mistake, they'll try to make you pay. Couldn't finish it off that time.
Yeah, nice job by Auburn getting back on defense, preventing the layup, and then getting the foul on Proviso East to get the possession back.
Van Vliet quickly ahead to Elijah Smith. Used every bit of the rim.
Elijah Smith's on. He's not afraid to go inside against the taller Proviso East players.
Shortest man on the floor at 5 feet 9 inches tall. Lee to Burns to Carter. Keith Carter. Inside position goes to right out. Once again, Auburn quickly on the floor and they able to capitalize.
You can see Proviso East, they're taking some jump shots and missing them. Only 2 points they've scored when Sterling Brown has had the ball and been able to go over the top of the smaller defender.
Finds his way there and kisses it in.
I think that's the key for Proviso East, if they can get the ball inside. And I think for Rockford Auburn, they've had a couple opportunities. They haven't capitalized on a couple layups.
Carter for three. Auburn fans want to grace over the back. That's an offensive foul on Brown. Only 6 points on the board. Pressure defense both ways have forced numerous turnovers. It is Sterling Brown with all 4 East points. We have a break at Carver Arena. Back after this.
Jane goes to school from 7:45 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then must go to softball practice from 3:45 to 6 p.m., followed by jazz practice from 6:30 to 9 p.m. What are you doing between 3:45 and 9?
A recent survey of Fortune 500 executives showed that 95% participated in activities while in high school. So don't just go to school, go beyond with the IHSA.
The Illinois High School Association. Challenge yourself.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
I mean, I wouldn't say pride, but obviously you wish for height. Any short man wants to be tall, but some tall people want to be short too. But I mean, just knowing that we're going to be outsized every game just give us even more of a chip on our shoulder when we go out there to prove a point that you don't have to have size to win a basketball game. And we got a tough group of guys that are going to go out there and do what they got to do to take the win.
With Matt Rodewald, former University of Illinois star Jerry Hester, I'm Dave Bernhard. That was Fred Van Vliet. You can see already that this team from Rockford Auburn not intimidated by any height mismatch they may have.
Oh, they're definitely not intimidated. They're trying to get the ball down low, something that Proviso East needs to do more of. But watch this Auburn team. They like to get up and down, and they've had a couple opportunities to get layups, but they've turned the ball over.
Well, you speak of turnovers. How about 5 each way?
That's called jitters. Hopefully both teams will settle down here quickly.
Combined record of 62-2, and we said Proviso East inflicting one of those losses on Auburn during the holiday tournament. Van Vliet goes all the way to the rack. That lane was filled with white jerseys, and somehow number 23 got there.
That's why he's a first-team All-Stater. That time, being able to weave through that Proviso East defense, forced him right. He got into the lane, almost made the layup, forgot the foul, and is at the line for 2.
Here's a young man that's very familiar at the free throw line. Fred Van Vliet has shot 271 free throws this season.
That's amazing.
He is connected in 60, make that 77% of those. Looking for his first points tonight. Headed to Wichita State, so he'll be very familiar with this Carver Arena floor here in the Missouri Valley Conference. Brian Ott considers Van Vliet the best point guard in the state. Van Vliet's teammate Elijah Smith goes one farther. He says, hey, he's the best point guard in the country.
Oh, wow. That's high honors, but he has had that kind of season with what he's been able to do. Not only scoring, but the assist and the rebound.
Carter, who had 23 points the last time these two teams met. By IHSA has it. Entered the ball game with the last dead ball. Picks up a quick foul. Stepping into that pass, Elijah Smith. The Knights want to run. They have numbers. Lamarck Foot. Bothered by Brown. Here comes Lee. 3-on-1. Carter. Still nothing.
Yeah.
We'll go the other way. Foot. Smith. And they'll get Paris Burns on the block. Every ball game we like to bring you trivia questions brought to you by Realtor.com. Here it is. We haven't mentioned it yet on purpose. Can you name the future NBA trio dubbed the Three Amigos while leading Proviso East to that 1991 IHSA Class AA State Championship? We'll have that answer for you in the second half. We'll probably actually tell it to you prior to then, unintentionally.
Do I get to win that if I get all three of them, Dave?
If nobody answers correctly by the time we have a minute left in the game, Jerry, I will let you. Right. Having played against the Three Amigos, you've lived it again. Sterling Brown drives. Hard to believe that it's just a 4-2 score with 2:19 to play, but when you shoot 25% each way and commit a combined 13 turnovers, I guess that's the answer to any question people may have about it.
Yeah, again, a lot of action going on in the game, but neither team is able to finish, like you said, because of the turnovers and the missed shots.
From the corner. They get Alex over the top again.
You see that Rockford Auburn team, they're a smaller team, and you can see Proviso East trying to go over the top, but Auburn doing a good job here the last couple minutes of boxing out and not letting Proviso East go over the top.
It's already 7 team fouls on Proviso East, so we will be shooting a 1-and-1 down at this end. Stepping in the line, be Tramel Rideout. How about Auburn? They've only taken 4 shots here from the field, made just 1, 0 of 4 from the free throw line.
And you can't miss opportunity at the free throw line. They have to make these.
0 for 5.
You miss a 1-on-1, it's like a turnover.
And this is a turnover right here. Look at this speed from Smith. Taken out of there by Deshaun McCarthy. Harris Burns the other way, a little bit out of control here. Settle down, fellas.
Yeah, both teams.
Foot up in a hurry. Here comes Paris Lee. Donnie Boyd says, let's go. Off the hands of Burns. The stat monitor can't keep up with the turnovers here. That will be the 17th turnover here in the first quarter.
And that was had a missed shot there by Auburn, and Proviso East trying to get out in transition, but just not able to take advantage of the opportunities because they're going a little bit too fast. They need to slow down. That time not able to even catch the basketball, but both teams are in that situation now. Neither team has really settled down yet, and we're almost 7 minutes into the ball game.
Donnie Boyce has brought in a couple of reserves. Brandon Jenkins in the ball game now for the Pirates. Contrell Curry is entered for Auburn. Foot leans in, contact, whistle. The offensive foul on Lamarck Foot.
Yeah, Lamarck Foot had a little 10, 15-foot jump shot there, trying to take it in a little deeper. That time a little too deep as Keith Carter got in the way. Did a nice job, got in position, and got the offensive foul.
There's your turnover numbers, 8 apiece. Wow. 4-2. You're not kidding. 1:20 to play in the first quarter.
This isn't slow down. This isn't 4-2 because they're holding the basketball. This is 4-2. Both teams trying to push the pressure. And neither team is being able to score points.
Brandon Jenkins can't get that one to go. Here's Van Vliet. Been held scoreless in the first quarter. Philip Tramel also in the ball game, wearing number 2 for Auburn in the black jerseys trimmed in red. Open lane. Still can't get it down.
Both teams just moving way too fast. And Javonte Hicks that time going to the lane should not convert.
Sterling Brown, he has all 4 of Proviso East points. 30 seconds left first quarter. Van Vliet working on Lee. Van Vliet with career assist average of 7. He's the all-time scorer in the history of Rockford's 4 public schools with over 1,700 points, but he throws that one away. Jenkins can't finish it.
There's a lid on the basket on both ends.
Van Vliet with 10 seconds. At half court with 2 seconds. Gets it up, and that's how our first quarter comes to a close. Unbelievable opening 8 minutes. 2 teams, a combined 62 wins. They have scored a combined total of 6 points. Second quarter coming up.
How come an insurance company thinks 15 minutes is enough time to do a good job? How come
insurance companies tell me how much I can save
before they even know what I need?
How come
nobody gives me a financial plan?
I can understand?
Country Financial does. Your country representative can help protect what you have now and prepare for the future.
Somebody who knows retirement planning and insurance.
No kidding.
At Country, we always ask, what's your idea of financial security?
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Not the graceful start that we all expected, but the Pirates with a 4-2 lead after both teams combined for 21 shots and 17 turnovers in that first quarter. But when you're talking about Proviso East and their explosiveness, they are capable of opening up any game. Say, for example, just taking a 5-game stretch during the middle of the season, checking a 4-game stretch, down 4-0 to Batavia. How about a 28-1 run and then a 23-0 one? They won by 45. Up or down 5-2 to Willowbrook, another 12-0 run. They won by 41. Down 6-2 at Leiden, a 12-0 run, won by 21. So at any point, that one run can kickstart their explosiveness and get the way they want to play out of control and out of your hands.
And in fact, in that game at Proviso East between these two teams, Proviso East went on an 18-4 third quarter run to make it a 19-point difference, keyed by their defense. Here's Jenkins, and he will shoot 2. You may want to hide your eyes. Okay, there it is. 1 of 8, 2 of 13. That's right. Proviso East. That's 2 of 13 from the field. Auburn 0 of 5 from the free throw line. Turnovers, Jerry. I don't know how you can get things settled down. I thought maybe the break between quarters might do it.
Yeah, you think it would. Looking at those stats, that's like me and you playing on our Nerf rim at home. You know, I think we play one-on-one. We probably have that many turnovers, but you don't expect 2 teams like this, the way they played all year, to play the way they did in the first quarter. But like you said, hopefully after playing that first quarter, settling down, listening to your coach, maybe that'll get one of these teams jump-started.
1 of 2 free throws for the junior Brandon Jenkins. Van Vliet looking to score. Offensive foul. Van Vliet, here in the tournament, he averages 21 points per game, but in the tournament, his games, 26 points, 13, 35, 32, and 27. He's scoreless tonight.
Yeah, he's a scoring machine, but you can see the way Proviso East wants to play. They want to get the ball out of his hands, and when he drives like that, he has to stay under control and not get out of control and get offensive fouls because he's needed on the floor.
He has 2 personal fouls. He stays, he rebounds, he leads, ahead to foot for the score.
And you look at Proviso East, they're sending all 5 players to the boards, and Rockford Auburn will have opportunities to get out in transition just like that if they can secure the rebound.
Speaking of rebounds, Jalen Marshall is 6'2" senior center for Auburn, out for the season. Of course, it's only 2 games left. Suffered severe knee injury 3 games ago, tore his ACL, MCL, meniscus. 6'2" senior leads the team in rebounding at 8.2 per game, and once he is out, you see the brace on that right knee. The leading rebounder becomes Fred VanVleet with 5.8 again.
He's not a big guy, only 6'2", but he would definitely be needed in this game. And that's an example of the last possession. Sterling Brown getting to the offensive glass and now at the free throw line.
That last field goal by Lamar Foote for Auburn was the first one that the Knights had since the 5:11 mark of the first quarter. And yet they're within a point.
Neither team has made a free throw yet either.
Speaking of field goal droughts, how about 4:18 of the first quarter? That's the last bucket scored by Proviso East. 2 missed free throws here. Smith passed up a shot for the lead. Now he'll let it fly, and it's an air ball. Hey, hear Donnie Boyce in the background saying, pick it up, pick it up. McCarthy rattles it in.
Hey, Matt, talk about it. One of these teams looking to get on the run. Looking at Proviso East, that's a shot right there that maybe that can get them going.
Quickly the other way, however, Rideout answers with the bucket. Closes it to a point. Hesitation move. Wow. Brandon Jenkins. Jenkins missed the early part of the season. He is getting more and more minutes, a 6'3" junior.
You can see why. Like you talked about, the hesitation crossover move just really stopped Rideout in his tracks and went right by him and got the layup. Action is picking up, Dave. 3 baskets in a row, 3 possessions, 3 baskets. So looks like these teams are starting to settle down a little bit.
Still troubles from the free throw line. 1 of 5 from the line for Proviso East. Auburn 0 for 5. 3-point game, 2 minutes into the second quarter. The winner to play either Simeon or Bloom, that game to follow. Carver Arena filling up in anticipation of seeing Jabari Parker, the Simeon Wolverines. But here's an All-Stater in Fred VanVleet. He gets his first points of the night and a chance to tie this game.
Fred VanVleet says, hold on, that game is next. I'm an All-Stater first teamer. Watch me play. And that was a great move by him, faking the 3-point shot, getting by Sterling Brown, the taller player. But definitely VanVleet has the quickness advantage, got into the lane and got the foul.
0 for 6 from the line. That's what the Knights are shooting. Ball a 1-point lead. Harris Burns, a transfer from Peoria High School, will get it off to Keith Carter. Sean McCarthy goes glass. How about the bench play the Pirates have gotten? 3 points off the bench from Jenkins, 4 from McCarthy, 7 of their 11.
Yeah, that's the last 7 points that they've scored.
Second opportunity here for Auburn. Smith airballs his second straight. You're starting to feel the flow go to the Proviso East Pirates as Byrne goes off the window.
Well, those layups that they missed in the first quarter, they're not missing them here in the second quarter so far. They get into the lane. Now they slowed down, taking their time and making those shots. They've built this up to a 5-point advantage.
And the turnover. Timeout on the floor. It's coming at a good time for Auburn. Proviso East starting to get the machine rolling. Harris Burns with the layup.
Boom! Hey, where are you going? You can't get by me. I'm number 1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm number 1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am a king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies. Is Zoo? Whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Well, we all like each other, you know. We get mad at each other. We try to cheer them up, you know. I mean, we just got great chemistry on and off the floor. You know, we hang out with each other, play video games, go out to eat, do everything. You know, we just got a great chemistry.
Sterling Brown talking about the chemistry they have among the teammates. But I think a big part of that, Jerry, is Donnie Boyce coming in, a former Proviso East star, won a state championship in 1991. But I think just that unified this team.
Yeah, and you look at his coaching staff, a lot of those people on our coaches on his staff were from that same team, so he understands what it takes to win, and chemistry is a big part of that, and he's transferred that to his players. And like Sterling Brown talked about, this team right here has that same type of chemistry.
They lead it by 5, looking for more. Brown fighting hard. Inside position, nicely done by Elijah Smith to track it down.
See the game settling down just a little bit. Right now the momentum is with Proviso East, but that can quickly turn around with this Rockford Auburn team.
Brown with the block out of bounds. Fred Van Vliet, 1 of 3 from the field. Missed his only 3-point attempt. 0 of 3 from the line. He does have 4 rebounds, but just 2 points. The All-Stater coming in averaging 21.3 per game.
I believe he was at the top of the scouting report, so he's getting a lot of attention paid to him right now.
Tough post up inside by Rideout, but there's Elijah Smith, smallest man on the floor. He can't get it to go. Carter, stop and pop. Carter fouled his own miss. It will be Rockford Auburn basketball.
Talk about Van Vliet. All-Staters struggling a little bit to start this game. Carter as well, 0 of 4 from the field.
Here's Van Vliet. He is trying to shake Sean McCarthy, who has been hounding him. Somehow, though, Van Vliet gets the ball inside. Javonte Hicks can't get it to go. Tip Burns after his own miss. And with 3:25 to play in the first half, only 8 points. This is a pretty big possession right here for Auburn. Great passing, the block, and the foul by McCarthy.
That was a great call as it looked. Right now, Proviso East was getting up and down. They started missing shots again. A nice job by Auburn to get into the lane, get a layup opportunity, and go to the free throw line. Now they have to convert. They're 0 of 4 from the free throw line. They have to make some of these shots.
Elijah Smith, 75% free throw shooter. They still do not have a made free throw in 7 attempts. Number 55, Contrell Curry, into the game for Auburn. Also checking in for Proviso East, the sophomore Javon Carter. Carter, the cousin of Keith Carter. Get a look at Sterling Brown at the free throw line. Elijah Smith. Finally, a made free throw for the Knights.
And that allows them to set up a little bit of a press. And talking to Coach Ott, he talked about they like to play man-to-man, but they'll change it up, keep the other team off guard.
Put the big step in the score.
Just like that, we have a 2-point ball game.
Underneath 3 minutes to play in the first half. Open three, rattles it in, Javon Carter. Carter, the sophomore, started the season with the varsity. Went back down, they just brought him up, and he contributes here in the 4A semi. Foot with a travel.
And this is what March Madness is all about. You have a situation where Auburn goes down on the end to cut the lead to 2, and you have Proviso East coming back and hitting the 3. March Madness at its best. Every possession, you have a momentum swing.
A blocking foul inside. peeling himself up off the deck, Contrell Curry. He's actually replacing Jalen Marshall. According to his coach, Brian Ott, he made no bones about it. Curry was a garbage time player. Now getting about 8 to 10 minutes once Marshall went down. He's been rebounding, playing some good defense. He fouls on that one.
And he's needed because he's one of their bigger players now on the floor and trying to use some size inside to negate what Proviso East has inside with Sterling Brown at 6'4".
Right, Curry at 6'3", by far the tallest person on the floor for Auburn. Carter hangs, partially blocked, picked out of there by Lamarck Foote. Once again, Auburn looking up at a 5-point deficit, and Paris Lee forces the travel on Lamarck Foote.
That is 14 turnovers for this Auburn team. That's one thing that they'll look at in this game, win or lose, that they have to adjust going into tomorrow's game.
Carter and Van Vliet matched up momentarily. 3 off the iron, kept alive by Javon Carter.
Proviso East doing a nice job getting to the offensive glass, but they haven't really been able to convert until now.
Sterling Brown with his 3rd basket of the night. Our biggest lead of the night at 7, 18-11.
See that size starting to bother Auburn just a little bit.
Nothing comes easy when you play Proviso East. Foote's shot is well short. Boy, with the Pirates of Proviso East, you cannot show the ball. You're in trouble.
You almost have to be like a running back and hide it. Try to find a way to dribble so they can't see it.
Now they'll run a couple of players at Van Vliet. Smith has airballed a couple of shots, reluctant to take one there.
And if he's not going to shoot it, he does have to take an outside shot, but he had a driving lane. You have to be aggressive when you're out there on the floor, because if they keep running 2 players at Van Vliet, somebody else has to step up.
High arcing shot from the corner by Smith. Van Vliet hangs and rolls it out. Put back right out. Trammell Rideout, his 2nd basket of the night. And with under a minute to play, Auburn hangs within 5.
Anything Auburn can do going into the second half is realize Proviso East, they will overcommit and they can maybe get some back doors or get some opportunities going to the basket.
And Travelon Burns will give the ball to the Knights with 40 seconds left. Donnie Boyce, his team has won 31 games. Only 3 of those games have been decided by less than 10 points. Double-digit victories for Proviso East this year. And they'll give it away. And they'll give it away the other way.
That is the story of the first half right there.
27 turnovers, make that 26 turnovers. 15 for Auburn, 11 for Proviso East.
We had about a 2-3 minute spurt where the team seemed like they settled down, but they're going right back into what we saw in the first few minutes. It doesn't look like a happy man right there.
No, sir.
I don't know if I want to be in either locker room at halftime.
Van Vliet double up. Plenty of time here for the Pirates with 12 seconds left. Carter, fade away. Keith Carter's first basket of the night comes at the horn and matches the biggest lead of the night. Proviso East, the 2nd-ranked team in the state, ranked as high as 12th in the country. Lead here in your 4A semis, 20-13 over Rockford Auburn.
Man, that was a big shot there by Keith Carter, because that was his first basket, giving momentum going into the second half.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on Country Financial Auto Insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
From the gridiron to the hardwood,
on the links or on the track. On the diamond or on the ice. Go to prepfilms.com. It's easy. You can order your DVD online. At prepfilms.com, you make the memories. We'll make them last forever.
I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course. They'll become smarter drivers, and you can save up to 10% on country financial auto insurance.
Well, aced it.
Visit simplydrive.com.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school. When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
IHSA Network Halftime is presented by Realtor.com. Realtor.com's real estate search app makes researching neighborhoods and finding homes for sale easy. Download it for your smartphone in your market or at Realtor.com/mobile. 7-point lead for Proviso East. There's so many mistakes out there. I'll ask you, where do you start in fixing these?
We just got to settle them down. I think we got a little rattled here with this big crowd being down here on this big floor, but you know, late in the second quarter, I thought we started to play more of our game, get more in the rhythm. Just got to get them to understand, you know, just basketball like you're playing in the back of your backyard.
It was a tight game when you guys played them at Proviso West around the holidays. Do you remember what you told them then, and maybe the adjustments you made then to break it open?
Well, you know, just like probably this, we got to push the tempo. You know, we're averaging, I think, like 80, 85 points, and we're far off that pace. You know, I just think once again, our guys just got to get settled in and, you know, let the game come in them. I think we're pressing just a little too much.
Okay, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Donnie Boyce, the head coach of Proviso East, 31-0, trying to make sure his first loss doesn't come tonight. We'll be back.
I love staying here. How long have you lived here?
A long time. You know, your mother grew up here.
I'm gonna have a house like this when I grow up.
I hope so, buddy. I hope so.
For the first time in generations, the dream of home ownership is being threatened. Realtors, members of the National Association of Realtors, are here to represent you and protect home ownership.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Nice. Oh! Yes, go! Yes, yes, yes! No! Come on! Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Halftime of our first semifinal in Class 4A. There's your second semifinalist. That would be the Blazing Trojans of Bloom Township. Will be taking on Simeon, the two-time defending state champions. We got highlights of the first game, believe it or not. Despite 27 combined turnovers, there are some baskets that are being made out here. And Rockford Auburn able to push the pace and keep up with Proviso East, but they've missed a boatload of layups for sure, and some inside shots for Proviso East. They're able to get some baskets as well and take just enough of a control of this one. Paris Burns with a basket you see there. He's got 2 points. Leading the way for East is 6 points from Sterling Brown, the all-everything unheralded basketball player for the Pirates, and 4 points apiece for Tramel Rideout and Lamar Foote. Fred Van Vliet, the all-stater, best point guard in the state right now, just 2 points, but he's had his opportunities. You can see the shooting percentage is very low. The rebounding advantage really going to the Auburn Knights right now. Lots of missed shots and running down the floor and all the turnovers as well. Kind of a sloppy first half on both sides. We're going to find out what Brian Ott has to say about the mistakes that he needs to fix when we come back. It is 20-13. The Pirates trying to get back into the state championship game for the first time in 20 years when we come back.
I'm Matt DeBlock, a fourth-generation family farmer from Aledo, Illinois. Family farmers like me are a lot like you, but we still have to earn your trust every day. Growing the best and safest food we can raise, treating our animals with respect and care, and protecting the world we live in. All of that makes me a lot like you, and a lot like the 94% of Illinois farmers who are family farmers.
Hey, my name's Katie and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm an A average student and I'm an athlete working towards a scholarship. And everybody tells me how much potential I have. But I just wish someone would tell me where my next meal is coming from. Katie, how'd I do?
Do you have to be so serious?
Well, I mean, I did like a crazy dance in a movie if you want me to like, you know, do a little, no.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
All right, guys, we gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flatten my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up.
To play 60!
Your school doesn't have a program? Be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
The Night of Stars here tonight in Peoria. That's Howard Moore, the head coach of University of Illinois Chicago. A lot of college coaches here tonight, a lot of great players here tonight. We have 4 All-Staters playing in your state finals here in Class 4A. Back with you here at Carver Arena along with Matt Rodewald, my partner, former University of Illinois great Jerry Hester. I'm Dave Bernhardt. And Jerry, you come into some games with such great anticipation. Yes. You think, okay, we're going to get a great ball game right from the opening tip. That didn't happen. But once I think the nerves did settle down a little bit early in the second quarter, things got into more of a basketball game.
Yes, there was a lot of action throughout the first half. It just wasn't a lot of things going on as far as scoring-wise. But like you talked about right there at the beginning of the second quarter, both teams settled down, scored a little bit. But again, too many turnovers by both teams. Auburn with 16 and Proviso East with 11.
Well, you look on the other side, you can see where defense would affect shooting from the outside, but from the free throw line, it's a tough go for both these teams.
Yeah, neither team is shooting well from the free throw line, and a lot of games can come down to free throw shooting. So it'd be interesting to see which team can pick it up from the free throw line, but also which team can impose their will here in the second half. You have an Auburn team that can get out and get some layups, and a Proviso East team that can use its size inside, especially with Sterling Brown.
It was a tight game the last time these two teams played before Proviso East won by 19. The win tonight sends somebody into the state championship game tomorrow night against either Simeon or Bloom. Second half coming up.
Hey, great party. Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well. This is well done. No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar?
This thing is practically burned. That's it. You're not gonna come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
Gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
My name is Fernanda. I'm the wife of a teacher. Budget cuts affected my husband's salary, so I'm picking up some part-time work. We're doing everything we can to make sure our kids eat today. Tomorrow, I just don't know. Fernanda, how'd I do?
Well, I usually fold the underwear first. I meant the acting, but good to know.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Full day of basketball here at Carver Arena in downtown Peoria, Class 3A. We've got ourselves set for Championship Saturday based on these results. North Chicago upsetting the top-ranked team in 3A, Springfield Lanphier 74-67. Then it was a 10-point win for the hometown Peoria Central Lions over Hillcrest. So tomorrow at noon we'll get things started with you as Lanphier meets Hillcrest, then your 3A championship ball game to follow at about 2 o'clock, North Chicago and Peoria. Matt Rodewald standing by with head coach Brian Ott.
Well, I talked to Donnie Boyce and asked him the same thing as far as all those mistakes out there. Where do you start in fixing it?
Well, I'll tell you what, we could start by making a layup. We could start by being under control, going to the basket and instead of trying to take the thing as fast as we possibly can take it, right? I mean, I think we set the game of basketball back about 50 years during the first quarter, and just when it seemed like we were maybe going to settle in some, we kind of reverted back to how we had been playing, and I really felt like Proviso, they took advantage of that finally, and that's why they have a 7-point lead.
And even midway through the second quarter in a timeout, you said to your kids, it's looking like you haven't shot the basketball before, but down 5.
That's right, and we just talked in the locker room about as bad as we have played, we're only down 7. So if we can play any better than that at all, we feel like we have to have a chance in this game. So that's what I'm hoping to see out of us, is that we just play a little more loose and a little more with a greater composure. I mean, we've seen these guys before, and we know what they do, and they're an excellent basketball team. But we feel like we can play with them, and we feel like we should be able to give ourselves a shot to beat them. Quite frankly, we did have those opportunities.
We'll see if we get more opportunities in the second half. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks very much.
And Coach Brian Ott obviously frustrated the way his kids played because they're just that close, Dave.
Indeed, Matt. And Jerry, how about that coming out of the box here? This is after he has talked to his team for the last 7 or 8 minutes. Boy, Brian Ott, he laid it on the table for you.
Yes, he did. Yes, he definitely did. And he talked about his team. And he was exactly on point talking about the way his Auburn team played. I don't know if he set them back 50 years with the way they played in the first quarter, but it was not a very scoring first quarter with the way the teams played. But hopefully they both teams settled down. I'm sure Donnie Boyce had a similar message for his team as well.
Former Peoria Manual Ram, former University of Illinois Fighting Illini, professional basketball. You've played for a number of coaches. You like that when a coach comes out like that, firing with that direct and that frankness?
Well, he was direct, but also he had a looseness about him to say, hey, you don't have to be so uptight. He joked a little bit, and I'm sure he did that in the locker room to loosen his guys up to say, hey, this is still a basketball game. Even though it is the Final Four, there's a lot of pressure around it. Just go out there and play basketball. That's all it is.
Brian Ott will hope that he can get a little bit more production out of that man right there, Fred Van Vliet. Not the numbers the All-Staters concerned than normally getting. There's Sterling Brown. Brown with 6 points, as Matt referred to earlier. Very much a quiet type player who does great things for Proviso East. And he'll handle it here to start the second half.
Yeah, you can see he does a little bit of everything. 6 points, and he was the leading scorer in the first half. 7 rebounds as well.
They tried to go with the big one early, and that backfired. Head to foot. Mark Foot able to hang. Still unable to hit on a layup. The other way, Brown. Sterling Brown, the biggest lead, now at 9.
And you go back to that first matchup, the game that was similar as far as scoring-wise, only a 7 to 8 point game at halftime, and Proviso East turned the heat up and really broke that game open.
4 on 3, Carter from 3. Foul, Isaiah Grace. 24-13. Opening 60 seconds here in the second half. Javante Hicks clangs that one off. Once again, numbers for the Pirates. and Burns. Timeout Auburn. The lead doubled up just like that at 26-13.
We talked about it in the first half. Which team would have some kind of scoring punch or some kind of extended effort on the offensive end may win this game. And to start the second half, Proviso East doing a nice job of getting out in transition. That's what they want to do. And Keith Carter missing a shot, but Isaiah Grace hitting the offensive boards with a great follow-up.
Harris Burns, he has made so much happen at transfer from Curie, able to get his second bucket of the night. And that's the one that forced the timeout call by Auburn. The Knights from Rockford, Auburn, working on a 22-game winning streak. Their last loss came on December 29th, 75-56 to this Proviso East team. Brian Ott working on his bench early. And right now, this is a crucial juncture in this ball game for both these teams. Proviso East is the type of team that, as Donnie Boyce says, once we start getting a big lead, we're like sharks in the water. And on the other side for Auburn, they have to stop it right now.
Yes, they definitely do. And this is a critical point like you just talked about. Big possession here. Even if you don't score, you want to try to run some good offense, get a flow to what you're doing, and not turn the ball over. Get a good look at the basket.
Hicks, known more for his defense, fouled by Grace.
Devontae Hicks forcing the action that time, going to the basket, getting a foul. And like we talked about in halftime, you have to convert right now, 1 of 8 from the free throw line.
Devontae Hicks has started every game the last 2 years for this Auburn team because of his defensive capabilities. And for Hicks, he makes a free throw. 2 of 9 from the line tonight for Auburn. Grace the rebound, just picked up his 3rd personal foul in that last play. And Hicks gets a hand on the ball. They leave Hicks on the floor, play through some offensive mistakes because he is so good defensively.
Yeah, you rarely hear that, but he is that good defensively that, you know, if he misses a shot, you can't take him off the floor because he is your best defender.
13-3 run in the last 4+ minutes, leading to a 26-14 lead for the second-ranked team in the state. The unbeaten Proviso East Pirates at 31-0. Too strong off the glass. Finally, held ball. Possession to Auburn.
It should be Auburn's ball because Proviso had it to start the second half.
Scoreboard shows with arrow pointing to Auburn. They will confirm, and that's the way we will go.
Great job by the officials getting together and getting the right call there.
Proviso East has scored 8 of the last 9 points dating back to the end of that first half. Only 14 scored by Auburn here, almost 2 minutes into the second half. Bad spot for Smith. Right there you see how Proviso East operates. Number 4 there is Ferris Burns. He got a hand on the ball and then broke the other way.
Yeah, and you see it right here. They want to speed you up. Like you talked about, he got a hand on the ball, but because he came across the body, he got a piece of the arm, and that's where he got the foul. But you said it right. He was touching the ball and going the other way. He was looking for a layup.
Van Vliet, the quick touch inside the right out. That's blocked by Grace.
Size of Proviso East starting to take over this game just a little bit.
Harris Lee for 3. Grace the offensive board. No whistle. Put back. Ball to the Knights. And Burns able to hit it off the leg of Smith. And with that, Proviso East will get it back.
And that time he didn't get a foul. Got a piece of the ball. Out of bounds off Auburn. Proviso keeps possession. You see right here, he got his hand right there on the basketball. No hand that time. Definitely Proviso East ball.
Great shot of Elijah Smith begging that the official didn't see it go off his foot.
When you get a chance, you got to give the officiating crew credit because it's a fast game, and that was definitely the right call.
Brown passes out of the double team. Carter hangs. Tipped out of there by Carter. Back to Brown, and he finishes.
You look at it, he's the difference in the ball game right now. Him and also Isaiah Grace, who's hitting the offensive glass. They're really starting to take over here in the second half with their size.
Remember, Proviso East playing without Trayshawn Carroll, sitting out a game because he was ejected from the super sectional game. Grace stepping up big time in his absence. 28-14, 10 points for Sterling Brown.
What makes this Proviso East so difficult, Proviso East team so difficult to play against is that not only do they have size, but even their big guys are very athletic. I mean, they're just as fast as some of the smaller guys. Sterling Brown can run just as fast as Keith Carter, so very difficult to stop this Proviso East team.
Van Vliet with his first free throw tonight in 4 attempts. Just 3 points. For the 6', 185-pound senior, he came in averaging 21.3 per game. 672 assists in his career, but he needs points right now. 4:39 to play in the third quarter, a 12-point lead for Proviso East.
How come nobody told me about all the hidden costs
of cheap insurance?
How come?
How come insurance companies tell me how much I can save
Before they even know what I need.
How come
nobody asked me what my idea
of retirement is?
Country Financial does. Your country representative can help protect what you have now and prepare for the future.
Somebody who knows retirement planning
and insurance.
I like that.
At Country, we always ask, what's your idea of financial security?
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
Give a gift of meals to a family in need. Visit feedingamerica.org/giveameal today.
Coaches would love to be here too.
All right, thanks very much, Karen. Back now to the game.
All right, and as we come back, the jump shot up and in by Jamal Robinson, or make it, I'm sorry. Not Jamal Robinson, but Jerry Hester on the other end. Proviso working the board.
All right, so no respect as a sophomore for Peoria Manual in that 68-61 loss. It was Jerry Hester with that bucket against the Proviso East team. And here's our Realtor.com question tying right into that. What future NBA trio dubbed the Three Amigos while leading Proviso East to the 1991 IHSA Class AA State Championship? Michael Finley, Donnie Boyce, Sherelle Ford, all members of that team, all facing my partner, Jerry Hester. In fact, Jerry, earlier this week, it was interesting talking to Donnie Boyce. He challenged you to a pickup game here this weekend in Peoria, you and your fellow Rams.
Yeah, he did, and we talked about it right before the game, and I told him, hey, we're in Peoria. Some of my teammates, they're still here. We can go at it whenever he wants. He has a little more pressing things he needs to take care of first, but no, that was a great shot and a great memory.
They'll give it right back to Lamarck Foote. Trailer, Smith. Burns will be fouled.
And Elijah Smith going to the basket. Tried a little difficult layup. That time could have went straight up, maybe even gotten a foul, but tried to go on the other side of the basket. That caused him to miss the layup.
Quickly the other way, Burns. That's an offensive foul. Well, speaking of Three Amigos, Donnie Boyce and his path after Proviso East played at Colorado University, then the Atlanta Hawks. Little stint with the Harlem Globetrotters. There's Donnie right there. Down a little bit farther on his bench is Sherelle Ford. He's actually the freshman coach for Proviso East. Of course, Sherelle went to UIC, played for the Seattle Supersonics and the Harlem Globetrotters. The third member of that team, Michael Finley, I'm told he's in the house here tonight after going to Wisconsin. Of course, played with the Phoenix Suns, the Dallas Mavericks, He was on the NBA All-Star team in 1999. He has himself a World Championship ring.
All three of those had very great careers in high school and moved on to college. I faced Finley a few times in college and also played against Gerald Ford when we both played over in Europe.
Would you have imagined back in 1991 that the four of you would have accomplished all of that?
No, I wouldn't have. And it's interesting because Mike Finley was really, I wouldn't say an afterthought, but he was considered the third best out of the three amigos and had a great NBA career.
And for those of you people scrambling to see how Jerry Hester did in that 1991 state championship game, that three is off the mark. But Brown there to look to clean it up.
Offensive rebounds. Proviso East taking over here in the second half.
Draining the three is Paris Burns. That will make it a 33-20 lead. Well, Jerry in that 91 championship game, 2 for 2 from the floor. Got you 4 points in, had a rebound. Donnie Boyce, of course, Donnie much older than Jerry at that time, 15 points and 11 rebounds in that Proviso East win. One of 4 state championships won by Proviso East. Jerry, that's all on a positive note for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
A sophomore in that game.
I was 2 of 2.
Yep. What more can you do?
100%. I couldn't do anything more. No. But no, they had a great team. Both teams were really good. And you heard we talked to Donnie Boyce earlier this week. Both teams respected each other, and just a great game.
Van Vliet, the nice dish inside. He gets it to Lamarck Foote as Auburn tries to battle back. But to cut this lead underneath double digits, they trail by 11, 33-22. 2:20 to play here in the third quarter.
And if they can score, it allows them to do just what they did right there, is set up that zone press. But they had a little bit of success, a couple of possessions in the first half.
From the corner, it's off the mark by Brandon Jenkins. Flying the other way is Smith. And the Knights have that lead under 10. 9-point difference.
And them changing just a little bit, and you see Auburn able to put together that zone press.
Sterling Brown looks a little tired out there. Got his jersey tucked into his mouth, a little bit slow getting down the floor. It's been a battle tonight.
It definitely has been a battle, especially for him inside. There's been a lot of missed shots for him to go after, and he's definitely a little winded, and that's something to be careful of or watch for going into the fourth quarter.
Both these teams shooting under 35%. That's a major improvement from early in this game. Off the mark for Javon Carter. Chance here. Oh, as Proviso East fans, coaches, players thought it was touched last by Van Vliet.
Couldn't really tell. Action was fast, but regardless of what you thought it was, it's Auburn's ball and you have to play.
According to his coach, Brian Ott, there's a moment in every game where Fred Van Vliet says it's time for him to go into takeover mode. This may be one of them. Has that shot blocked, however. Acceleration from Carter. How about that?
Changing gears. From first to fifth.
He explodes, he fouls, and Proviso East basketball is Keith Carter. First team All-Stater, 3-year starter. Donnie Boyce hired late at Proviso East this year. He had to build the trust of people, and the first person he went to, the first player he went to, was Keith Carter. He knew that Carter was a leader. He knew that Carter had to buy into his coaching style. Good move, and it's all worked out to a 31-0 record.
Yeah, it definitely has, and you talked about it. Donnie Boyce did the smart thing, knowing who was the leader and who he had to get the trust of first and foremost, and that was Keith Carter.
The man right there has enjoyed the ride this year. No way did he expect to be 31-0 at this stage.
He expected his team to play well, and that's what they've done, taking it one game at a time. And that's how you find yourself 31-0.
Burns rolls it in. Burns up to 9 points now. Foot with contact by Carter, who cannot establish position. Remember, coming up next, the #1 team in the state ranked in the top 5 in the country. They were #1 in the nation before suffering their only loss. That's Simeon with the #1 player in the country, junior Jabari Parker. They'll take on Bloom Township. After the turnover, ahead it goes. Foot gets a hand on the ball and forces a held ball possession to Proviso East. Brandon Jenkins flying down the floor.
Nice job by Auburn preventing the layup and causing Proviso East to take the ball out of bounds.
Two All-State guards matched up right here at the top. Harder and Van Vliet. And possession will go the other way.
Auburn doing a nice job creating another turnover so they can get the last possession and maybe build some momentum going into the fourth quarter.
Auburn has turned the ball over 19 times here in this game. That is a foul. Devon Carter, the sophomore, picks up the foul. That's the 16th foul on Proviso East.
You want to be aggressive, but not too aggressive. Like you talked about, 6th foul. Next foul, Auburn will be shooting free throws.
Auburn's in the bonus now, scoring 1.
Van Vliet has it ripped out of there by Carter. Launching at the buzzer. Oh. But we will head to the fourth quarter. 4-time state champions, Proviso East wants to get to that championship game one more time. They're 8 minutes away. After 3, here in your 4A semifinal. Pirates 35, the Knights 24.
And so, after due deliberation and much hard work on the part of both agencies, we've decided to award the contract to Abercrombie and Tietweiler.
What? You gotta be kidding me! Bad call, jeez.
This is pathetic!
Those ads went out with dancing cigarettes. What are you, blind? What are you, deaf? What are you, out of your mind? Fix.
Today is Saturday. Yeah. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap us next Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
It's an 11-point lead for Proviso East. The Pirates trying to clinch their first bid to the state championship game in 20 years. Matt Rodewald with you here at Carver Arena. Coming up next, we have another Class 4A semifinal, a dynamite matchup between the Wolverines of Simeon trying to get into the state championship game for the 6th time in 7 years, and Bloom, who's making its first trip downstate in 12 years. So that should be a great matchup. Also in between games, we have the three-point shootout, the Country Financial three-point showdown. And with Rockford Auburn trailing by 11 points at this point, don't count them out just yet. Down 6 to Warren in the Super Sectional, the Knights ran off a 14-2 burst to finish that game up with the win.
Thank you very much, Matt. 8 minutes to decide. We'll be playing in the late game tomorrow night. Of course, 3A action comes your way beginning at noon.
First few possessions are key for both teams. If Auburn can fight their way back into this game, they can make it tough going down the stretch. Or Proviso and really open up this lead.
And there's a turnover, a traveling call up front. Brown will give it over to Rockford Auburn. Unrelenting pressure and miscommunication between Foote and Van Vliet.
I was just going to say that was the thing that Auburn wanted to have happen, is create a turnover, but then they do the exact same in turning the basketball over and give it back to Proviso East.
And that will will be a trip on Smith.
You can see Auburn now trying to pick up the pressure, even here in the half court, trying to trap, speed this game up because they have to get back into it. Something that they're used to. They're used to putting a lot of pressure on other teams. Now they want to create turnovers and get offensive layups on the other end.
Off the inbounds, 3-ball, ring it up for Javon Carter. That's his second 3 of the night. And just like that, the lead balloons to 14.
Auburn needs to move the basketball. They have to, can't be in a hurry, but you have to try to score quickly.
Mark Foote gets his 8th point of the night. Baseline, Paris Lee.
That's the one thing, when you have a team that plays fast, it's hard for them to slow down. And Proviso East plays fast enough that Auburn can fight their way back in this game if Proviso East starts missing shots.
Langs that one off the backboard, Elijah Smith. And the timeout is called. Well, the injury to Jalen Marshall has certainly thinned out the Auburn Knights bench. However, the difference in this game has come from the bench. Auburn scoreless on people they brought off the bench. Proviso 13 points tonight from their bench players. Javon Carter, Brandon Jenkins, Deshaun McCarthy have done a great job coming off for Donnie Boyce's team.
Yeah, if you remember going back to that first and second quarter, it was the bench play that allowed Proviso East to start picking up their offense because it was 4-2 for a very long time. And then you had some plays by Proviso East bench that got them going just a little bit.
You know, and you're right. I think if nothing else, that settled the starters down a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely did. And sometimes when you're on the bench, you come off the bench, you can see the game from a different angle than when you started. And they were able to come off the bench and realize the game was being played a little bit too fast. How can I make an adjustment getting on the floor? They made the proper adjustment, made some shots, and now you can see Proviso East with this 12-point lead right now. I know that guy right there, fellow Peoria. I've known Jaron since he's about 6 or 7 years old, so I'm very proud of what he's accomplished and in his career, not only as a player, but now as a coach and helping young men.
And Jaron Howard, the current interim coach at the University of Illinois. A lot of homecomings here this weekend in Peoria. Peoria Central playing for the state championship tomorrow in 3A. That pass nearly picked off by Smith. Brown will be fouled going that way.
See Proviso East still playing to win, not trying to pull the ball back out and run clock. They're still trying to score. That's the way they play. They'll play that way until the end.
Reminder, we have our second semifinal coming up. Bloom Township taking on Simeon. Prior to that, though, it'll be our Country Financial 3-point showdown. We have to get ourselves a Class 4A champion in that 3-point showdown so that tomorrow we can crown the boys King of the Hill.
I thought we were doing a 3-point shootout, me and you.
No. No, we can. Just make sure you clear the arena, turn off all the cameras. We'll be fine.
At least get a horse game before the weekend's out.
I'll see what we can do.
Okay, all right.
State's top-ranked team taking on Bloom Township. That's coming up next. 2 All-Staters in that game for Simeon. Jabari Parker, #1 player in the nation, along with his teammate Steve Taylor on that first-team All-State team. And count the 3 and a chance for 4. Javon Carter.
Javon Carter coming off the bench with some big shots here in the second half. He's becoming a 3-point specialist here. Knocks down the shot, gets fouled, and that takes a lot of concentration. When you see a player flying at you, still able to knock down the shot with the contact.
Carter unable to make it a 4-point play. However, the biggest lead of the night at 16, 42-26. Remember the last time these teams played at Christmas, it became a 19-point difference, 75-56. Every shot contested. Lee to Brown, can't send the crowd to their feet.
Sterling Brown trying to show, I can jump like my brother here, Shannon Brown, but that time just couldn't get control of the basketball and went over the top of the rim and out of bounds to Auburn.
You said the brother of Shannon Brown, the former Illinois Player of the Year, went to Michigan State, into the Phoenix Suns, won an NBA championship with the Lakers. Shannon's been able to handle that type of notoriety very nicely, has not let his brother's shadow affect his game.
Yeah. He's coming along very nicely, a junior, almost averaging a double-double, having a good young career. Looking forward to seeing him improve as his career goes along.
And we talk about that Shannon Brown impact. How about the NBA championship impact that Proviso East has had? Now, prior to last year, there was 4 straight years that a Proviso East alum won an NBA title. How does that go? Yep, Michael Finley in 2007 with the Spurs. Doc Rivers, of course, the head coach, 2008 Celtics, and then Shannon Brown in 09 and 10 with the Lakers.
When you look at the history of Proviso East and what they've done, I'm not sure about it, but I think they've put in as many, if not the most, NBA players in Illinois high school history. I don't want to go on record saying that's the truth, but I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of being one of the top, definitely.
And it's a community that is obviously behind their basketball team. I mean, there's high expectations. You win 4 state championships. Bill Hitt wins back-to-back titles in 91 and 92 with records of 32-1 and 33-0. And I think with Donnie Boyce coming back, it brought back some of that tradition as well to Maywood.
And then you can see it here tonight in Peoria, where they have a large contingent watching this basketball game, hoping their team can get to that Saturday, the late Saturday game in the championship.
See some of those Proviso East fans here at Carver Arena. You can bet they will stick around for game 2. They want to get a good look at Bloom and Simeon. Simeon has been in their sights all season long. Pretty much now or never in this one for the Auburn Knights. Javante Hicks. Brown. Proviso East will not slow down, and that's a foul on Elijah Smith.
We talked about it. Sharks in the water. And right now they have this Auburn team down, and they're not letting up. They're looking to push the ball even faster than what they did earlier.
Well, and that is unique, because how many times have we sat at games at this stage, about 5 minutes left, 16-point difference, and you can see teams go into cruise control. But I agree, Jerry. The pace is picked up. There's that extra little look in the eye.
Well, this team is playing to win. A lot of times you talk about it, teams slow the ball down. They almost play not to lose, and a lot of teams get in trouble like that. This Proviso East team will not play not to lose. They want to play to win.
Carter works on Van Vliet, leaves him behind. Keith Carter.
Great move right there by Keith Carter, showing that I'm 6 foot, but I got a little post game in me.
Carter with just 4 points tonight. Van Vliet forces it up with the left hand. All Staters on each end of the floor. Van Vliet the steal, the pull-up, the 3.
He's starting to heat up just a little bit, and we talked about what Brian Hott talked about. Sometimes during games, he realizes it's time for him to take over. Right now, back-to-back baskets for Van Vliet.
Javon Carter doubled up. Sean McCarthy, corner. Van Vliet again. Numbers against him. Hooked out of bounds by Javon Carter. There's a moment in every game when Fred is in takeover mode. That is exactly what Brian Ott has said of the Knights. Here is your All-Stater headed to Wichita State, Fran Van Vliet, making it a 13-point game.
How come insurance companies tell me I can save like 40%?
Before they even know what I need.
How come
my company never asked me
my idea of financial security?
How come nobody gives me a financial plan?
I can understand.
Country Financial does. Your country representative can help protect what you have now and prepare for the future.
Somebody who knows retirement planning
and insurance.
Yeah.
At Country, we always ask, what's your idea of financial security?
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. And we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. You can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
4 state championships for Proviso East. This was the first in 1969 under head coach Tom Milliken. Became a 58-51 win over Peoria Spalding. So Proviso East Pirates, none too kind to Peoria teams. I already showed you the championship win over Peoria Manual in 1991. The coaching tree just rolls right downhill here at Proviso East. Tom Milliken, the head coach, he was the head coach of Bill Hitt. Hitt took over coaching the Pirates, led them to 2 state titles. Who played for Bill Hitt? That man right there, Donnie Boyce. In fact, you see those long sleeve jerseys worn by Proviso East. That was brought to Maywood by Milliken. Long 3 for Van Vliet is off. Underneath 4 minutes to play.
Auburn picking up their pace a little bit. See the body language starting to feel like they can make a comeback here.
Footno on the 3. Van Vliet will track down another rebound. That is his 10th of the night. That 3 goes. Ring it up for Philip Trammell. And we have a 10-point game.
Yeah, this Auburn team did not get down here on the fluke, and they're not going to leave without a fight.
Van Vliet skies for that rebound. Clock stops with 3:17.
You have free throws on the other end, so if the clock stopped, Auburn has a chance to cut this lead into single digits.
Just the 10th 3 this season by Philip Trammell, the 5'6" sophomore. But that combined with 2 free throws coming up for Van Vliet, or at least a 1-and-1 for Van Vliet. An opportunity here to get this underneath 10 points. Van Vliet with 12 points, 10 here in the second half.
And it was his layup, steal, a 3-pointer that really got this Auburn team going again.
44-35. Carter gonna pull up.
We talked about it. This Proviso East team will let you back in because they play so fast.
But how about that exchange? How crucial the turnover leads to the bucket. So the possession was not wasted. In fact, it was interesting. We had the Proviso East bench right next to us. Javon Carter pulled up on that 3. Now he's made 3 of those tonight. But as soon as that ball rimmed out, Donnie Boyce spun around, looked at his bench to see who he could get off the bench to replace Carter. In the middle of all that, Boyce missed the turnover in the bucket.
Yes. But he still was not happy with the shot. You want to play to win, but that time you can get that 3-point shot anytime in the possession. So try to move the basketball, get a layup, use your size.
Timeout called on the floor by Proviso East. It will be their second used. Each team has 1 timeout remaining here in this one. Well, as we said, coming up, the 3-point showdown brought to you by Country Financial, the top 4 Class 4A 3-point shooters. And then we'll get you all set for that second semifinal. Simeon taking on Bloom Township. Simeon looking to go back-to-back-to-back. Earlier on today in Class 3A, North Chicago, a back-and-forth game with Lanphier before knocking off Lanphier 74-67, the top-ranked team. So North Chicago to move into Class 3A championship game where they will face the Lions from Peoria High, 60-50 winners today over Hillcrest. Remember, tomorrow our day gets started at noon with the 3rd place game, followed by 3A championship. Then we'll be right back here for Class 4A action tomorrow night. 6:30 3rd place game. Following that, it will be your state championship in Class 4A. A 9-2 run by Auburn here in the last minute 43 has made this an 11-point game.
And one thing that we haven't talked a lot about here in the second half, even though there was a crucial turnover there at that last possession for Auburn, is that neither team has turned the ball over a lot here in the second half. Only 7 for each team, or I'm sorry, 8 for Auburn, 7 for Proviso East, and that seems like a lot, but compared to the first half, that's a dramatic cut down.
Oh, what was it, 26-27 combined turnovers? Yeah. Let's go to Matt Rodewald.
Fair question to ask is the fact that Proviso East has been involved in games that have been decided by 10 points or less only 3 times. A situation like this in which a team makes a run on you late, Donnie Boyce, really for the first time in his entire coaching career, being tested as far as what he's going to tell his kids in this type of situation. Now with Proviso with a nice enough cushion here, a real good test here at the big stage, the big level, before a matchup against either a Simeon or Bloom for a state title.
Great point, Matt, especially when the expectations here as the season has gone on was for the Pirates to be playing in that final game of the season.
Well, that's an excellent point. You see how this team responds, not only Donnie Boyce, what he's telling his players, but how his players will respond on the floor.
Burns inside to Brown. Blocked out of bounds. Those 3 wins, 65-62 over Downers Grove South, and the very next night, a 73-66 win over Warren. Closest ball game came in the regional championship game, 51-48 over Glenbard South. Ahead to Van Vliet. Don't look now, but we have a 7-point game with a little over 2 minutes to play.
Proviso East turning the ball over, and now Auburn, those layups that they missed in the first half, they're starting to make some. Again, both teams play fast, and Auburn used to pressing, trying to turn up the heat just a little bit more and put some heat on this Proviso East team, like Matt talked about, who have not been in this situation many times this year.
Free throws for Keith Carter. An 18-point lead had been cut to 7. And it goes back to 9. 2 free throws from the senior.
That's what a senior first-team All-Stater will do. Pressure situations, they will come through. Keith Carter with 2 big free throws.
Stepping inside the 3-point arc. Philip Trammell can't get it. Burns weaves his way through traffic. Burns to lead.
They will not slow down. They just keep coming at you. 9-point lead, under 2 minutes. Forget bringing it back out. We're going to go for the layup.
Foot gets the rebound inside. Slapped by Brown. Stops the clock with 1:17 to play. 4 championships, 1 second place in Proviso East history. Their 4 titles, just 1 behind the record 5 set by Peoria Manual and the team you will see coming up next, Simeon. Mark Foote, the 6-foot senior. And when Auburn has needed free throws, they've not gotten them. 7 of 17 tonight from the line.
And that's a big miss. You had Proviso East making 2 on one end, and now Auburn missing the first one. They need to capitalize when they have the opportunity.
And Auburn will take their final timeout. Comes with 1:17 to play. You know, some people would say, well, right now you've got to really turn up the pressure, but the pressure's been turned up all night long.
Yes.
I mean, what more right now can Auburn do? They've come off a 14-6 run in the last 3 minutes, but what can you do with 77 seconds left here?
Well, like you talked about, there's nothing more that you can do other than continue to apply the pressure, but what they can do is continue to convert when they have the opportunity. That time a missed free throw, it's 1 point, but it's a big 1 point because it's still a double-digit lead right here. But I think if Auburn can continue to turn up the heat, Proviso's not going to slow down. So if they can keep the pace fast, they may need to hit a couple threes in this last 1:17. But if they can continue to keep the heat up, make Proviso turn the ball over, they have to convert fast on the other end.
And what's the final timeout tonight?
Let's check in with Matt Rodewald.
Guys, the one thing you know about basketball, when you get in these situations, it's all about extending the game as much as possible. And at this point, I think Brian Ott wants to gamble with Proviso East free throw shooting and put them on the line and see where they can go. You can expect some full court traps. This is your last shot, he said to his kids coming out of their final timeout.
Well, if you're looking for people to foul, don't foul Carter or Paris Lee. They're both up over 70%. Funny thing is, Keith Carter, the All-Stater, he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot here in the final minute 17.
It definitely looks for him first.
To Burns, somehow they get it to him. They're not holding it. Oh, man.
Not slowing down.
52-40, coming up on a minute to play. Hicks drives on McCarthy. Rebound to Brown. Thought he might have been held for a second, but he traveled first.
You see that exchange the last two possessions. It's part of this ball game. You had Proviso East converting on Darien, making a layup. Auburn having a layup with Hicks. He misses. That's the difference in the ball game. 12-point game right now.
Looking for the three. Van Vliet steps back. And with under a minute to play, the crowd chanting East, East, East.
Did they slow down? They pulled the ball back out.
No, an illusion. It was 2 steps back.
Okay, all right.
He was taking 2 steps back so he could take 10 steps forward.
And got fouled in the process.
There you go.
Okay.
Harris Burns will go to the free throw line. 13 points tonight for Burns. Honorable mention All-State selection. The transfer from Peoria. A lot of coaches have said that he has been the difference in this Proviso East team. With all respect to what Donnie Boyce has done here this season, Burns has just been that spot you just plugged in.
Yep.
Made this team go.
Proviso still pressing.
Smith finally buries a three. They throw it ahead to Lee. Hicks with the bump just as Lee was ready to peel off and bring it back up.
There's a 9-point lead with 20 seconds left. Hard to see Auburn making a comeback here, but I tell you what, they made a valiant effort here in the fourth quarter. And they'll probably look at this game and think, if it was only a couple minutes earlier, and maybe we started this in the third quarter, they may have a chance in this ball game.
You know, and for Rockford Auburn as well, they may look all the way back to the first quarter when they scored just 2 points. That was a 4-2 game at the end of one quarter of play.
It's amazing for all the action that we had. It was not a, we'll hold the ball for 2 minutes, we'll hold the ball for 2 minutes. There was action up and down. Nobody could score. And also give Proviso East team some credit. As Matt talked about not being in a tough spot many times this year. They responded out of that timeout, still hold a double-digit lead.
A couple of free throws there for Paris Lee. 54-43. In and out for Foot. They will foul Burns one more time and will walk to the other end. Proviso East just 11.2 seconds away from taking a 32-0 record into the state championship game, the state's #2 team. You can bet they'll head off to the press conference, they'll get dressed in a hurry, and they'll get right back out here in this arena and take a look at Bloom versus Simeon.
When you look at the bench and look at this team, they're all business. They expect to be in the championship game, and there's not a lot of celebration over there. They expect to be there, and they expect to win it. So this will be interesting going into the second game, who they will face.
Good crowd tonight here in Peoria. Many of them have come to see a team that was ranked #1 in the nation for a while. That's Simeon Wolverines. Only one loss on the season for Simeon, but Bloom may have something to say about that eventual final ranking. Van Vliet will take it in for his 18th point, his 16th in the second half. But Proviso East will head to the 4A state championship game. A 10-point win over Rockford Auburn, 55-45, 32-0, and they will await the winner of Bloom and Simeon.
Good basketball game. Two teams fighting extremely hard. You get to this point, you hate to see a team lose because they fight so hard to get to this position. And you got to give Auburn credit. They did a nice job coming back to make this a game in the last quarter.
Handshakes going on the floor right in front of us. A lot of tired faces. They have left it all on the floor. We're halfway home tonight in determining a matchup in our state final. 55-45, Proviso East is there. Bloomington, Simeon, coming up next after your three-point showdown, brought to you by Country Financial.
We have with us Proviso East head coach Donnie Boyce. He has brought with him Keith Carter, Paris Burns, Sterling Brown, and Javon Carter. Coach, if you would, give us some comments on the ball game, and then we'll open it up for questions.
I thought obviously this wasn't our best well-played game of the year, but we gutted it through. I thought in the first half and part of the third quarter we did a great job of shutting down and containing Van Fleet, but he's such a great point guard and a great player. He tried to will his team back into the game, and like he's done all playoffs, but these guys right here, Keith Carter, I thought he did a great job not taking the personal one-on-one situation, making it between him and Keith, trusting the system, and Sterling Brown and Paris Burns and Javon Carter really played huge, especially Javon in the second half. He made some big shots for us, replacing Mike Nichols, who's injured right now and couldn't be with us.
Questions?
I think got to remember these young kids, and we're stepping on the big stage. I think we got rattled a little bit, but I thought midway through the second quarter we kind of settled in, got in a little rhythm. But they did a good job of pressing us as well and making us have some early first half turnovers. Pressure is a funny thing about pressure. If you allow pressure or the expectations, outside expectations, to be your main team focus, then I think that's when you feel pressure. We never have ever once, as a team goal, said we wanted to go undefeated. We said 14 goals at the beginning of the year. We accomplished 3 of them. We have 1 more left, and that's to be state champs tomorrow and raise that trophy. Well, we're pretty deep. All year we rotated. We went 10 deep, and I thought Isaiah Grace, for the limited time, he got in some foul trouble when he was in there. I thought he did a great job. I thought obviously Sterling really picked it up on rebounding, where we missed Trayshawn and Brandon Jenkins. It was a collective group thing to make up for Trayshawn missing.
Yeah, I just wanted to come out aggressive. I see the guards, they were struggling a little bit. So I just wanted to come out and be aggressive and get my team in the rhythm like we usually do.
Yeah, we just wanted to double and get the ball out of his hands because we know he's a good player and he made good decisions with the ball. So we knew we stop him, we'll be in good shape.
He'll be playing tomorrow, so no matter who we play, I feel real confident, even if Trayshawn wasn't here, about our chance of winning the state. Got ejected the last game against West Aurora in the Super Section.
You guys have a preference? You want to play more? Come on.
We always got a preference, obviously, I think everybody would like to see that dream matchup that's been really building, but they got to get past Bloom. Bloom is not a easy out for those guys. Whoever we play, I know it's going to be a great game, but we definitely look forward to the challenge of playing Simeon if that materializes. This can be a daunting atmosphere, especially for our guys. We had none of them really ever experienced this. So I just tried to share my experience, tried to tell them, you know, you're going to be nervous, going to have the opening jitters. Try to keep them as calm as possible. But some of that, you know, has to go to credit to Rockford. I'm looking right here now. We had 20 turnovers, and I think by far that's the most turnovers we ever had this season. But, you know, like a lot of credit goes to Rockford defense as well. Unfortunately, you know, that's been one of our weak areas, but it hasn't come back to bite us, and hopefully we can get through it one more game and not make that be a reason why we lose the game because we couldn't make free throws.
Yeah, well, when the game first started, I was kind of had a little jitterbugs, but as Coach Donnie, he settled us down and he told us just take a deep breath, we relaxed. Sterling got us going, and I had to do something to step up and get the team going as well. And the game started flowing in our possession.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tomorrow. Okay, we have with us Rockford Auburn head coach Brian Ott, and he has brought with him right now Lamar Foote and Javante Hicks.
Fred Van Vliet's in the three-point contest, so I guess they'll bring him when it's done.
Okay, Coach, if you would give us some comments on the game, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Well, first of all, obviously, we're very disappointed. And probably the most disappointing thing is the poor play in the first half in particular. I think I told the TV people at halftime coming out that we might have set basketball back about 50 years with our field goal percentage in the first half, and all of the missed layups and kind of wild shots, and don't really have much of an explanation for why we weren't more settled in than we were, but you can't ever get that back, is what I just told my team. You live with the consequences of your decisions in life, and we also live with the quality of our play. So I challenged us at halftime, and I think I'm very proud of my team and the way they responded in the second half. Told them they needed to ante up and be men. And I thought that in the second half they showed that. They went out there and played with toughness and character and grit. It certainly was not a thing of beauty. I don't really think it was a thing of beauty from either team, but the other team certainly made more plays than us and took advantage of turnovers a lot better than we did. And if we could get that back, I would love to get that back, but we can't. So I am proud of the character we displayed in the second half. And I think our guys will be up to play tomorrow and get over the disappointment. That's the kind of thing that they have shown me in the past. So I hope that's not too long-winded for you. Those are just my thoughts spontaneously, verbatim. Oh yeah. As I was saying, I thought they did a much better job of taking advantage of turnovers and missed shots than we did. But in that first half, what was it, 4-2 with a couple of minutes to play in the quarter? That was the final at the end of the first quarter. I mean, it was pretty amazing how many missed layups there were on the floor. And I mean, you had two groups of kids in the first quarter that I thought were hustling, running up and down the floor. But we had said at the quarter break that if we could have made some layups or some free throws, we might be up 12-4 right now or something like that. But instead, we're sitting here down because of our poor play. And you have to give Proviso East a lot of credit in the second quarter for really taking advantage of us and taking it to us and going out and just really taking the game from us. Well, you know, I think the sheet in front of me says that we turned it over 24 times. I don't think we've turned it over 24 times in a game in the last 5 or 6 years. So that's a lot. And it's very comparable to what happened in the second half against these guys in the semifinals of the Proviso West tournament, where it was a game at halftime. And about midway through the third quarter, they turned that up. And, well, we had prepared the best we could for it and felt like we had a real handle on it. And I guess we showed that we didn't quite have a handle on it. And I would say there's a reason those guys are 32-0.
Yeah, it was similar to when we played them at Christmas. You know, I guess their game plan was to get out of my hands and run two at me all night. And I felt I did a pretty good job. You know, 8 is kind of inflated with tip balls out of bounds and things like that, but I definitely turned it over way too much. And to only lose by 10 when you're, 24 turnovers. Well, they turned it over 20 times themselves. 24 turnovers, and the way we shot it from the free throw line is it's pretty amazing, and it's a testament to our guys' heart and our fight to only lose by 10 in the way we played.
It's not surprising because, like Coach I said, he tested us at halftime. He wanted to see how much heart we had, and just getting in there and continue to bang on the boards with bigger guys is showing how much heart I have. And I just wanted to do that to the very end and give my team a chance to win. So I felt like, you know, them being bigger in height didn't really matter.
No, I believe we was able to come back. I mean, second half we came in, did what we were supposed to do, but at the same time, I mean, it took all 4 quarters. Instead of 2 quarters, we should have did all 4. So that's how.
Okay, no more questions. Coach, thank you very much, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good?
Hey, Fred doesn't need to stay. Fred, you want to get a picture first? No, we're good.
Just hold on to it.
Okay, we have with us the Country Financial 3-Point Showdown Class 4A finalists. Jacob Mastranzi of South Elgin was the winner. He hit 11 and had a tiebreaker of 7. Fred Van Fleet of Rockford, Auburn, who just left, also had 11 in the preliminary round, and he had 6 in the tiebreaker. Colin Holderman of Bradley Bourbonnais had 7, and Hamza Zaid of Oaklawn Community had 6.
I just went out and shot. I've been practicing a lot. I was just happy to be here. I didn't think it like that. He's a great shooter. I was getting a little nervous because he's going to Wichita State next year, and he's just a great player. I was just went out and shot.
And talk about going out and shooting first or tiebreaker.
I shot first yesterday, and then I shot first today. I was just used to it.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Not sure.
Not really. Not sure at all. Yeah.
Sure.
Can you just talk a little bit about the experience? What it's been like, qualifying Auburn College? I don't know. It's been tough. It's just the contest pretty much was hot that night, so you just gotta be lucky to get down here.
I think it was pretty fun. Still representing my team, even though we got knocked off by Semifinal. I had fun, so it's worth it.
Yeah, it was tough getting down here. Just kept making as much as I could. Got lucky a couple times, and I was just happy to be here.
Were you involved in shootouts during the regional reception?
Yeah.
You were calling there?
Yeah.
So in other words, somewhere along the line you could have been beaten.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. A couple close calls.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. Thank you.
It's all wet.
No, it's
Oh, no, you're good. That's, you got my name.
Yeah, let me get a picture of you guys.